Coming up on the Saturday Scouting Report, you want to talk about playoffs?
Turn the page and let's go. I believe in you, believe in yourself right now.
Well, believe this, a dramatic Week 10 as teams punch their ticket to the CIF postseason. Ramona thumps Supa Dupa Jurupa Valley, and the Rams are moving on. We'll ring in the playoffs with Hemet after the Bulldogs beat San Jacinto in the battle for the bell. Canyon Springs emerges from a 4-team, 1 playoff spot scenario in the Inland Valley League. Heritage caps off another perfect season in the Sun Belt by beating Elsinore. And Vista Murrieta tops Chaparral for the Southwestern League crown. All that and much, much more coming up on the show. Brought to you by Hardy Homes and Estates. When you list with Hardy, start packing. Bundle up and crank it up. Let's get wild for Week 10. The show starts now.
Centennial loves HS game time. Here's Pep.
Welcome to the Saturday Scouting Report. I'm Pep Fernandez. Wow, where do you even start the show with so many great games, so many highlights as teams were punching their ticket to the playoffs? One of them, Ramona. Ramona needed a victory against the Jaguars to have any shot at the playoffs. Ramona taking care of their end of the deal. Damon Mays to Lorenzo Cabrera, 14-zip Rams. Later, it's Brandon Lefevre coming up with a big-time interception for Ramona. So the Rams take over on offense, and this time they go to the ground. Josh Creasy with the score, and Ramona beginning to pile up the points in a hurry. Another interception doesn't hurt for them. Henry Batista comes down with the pick for the Rams, so they're back in business. And Mays continued a huge day through the air. Mays to Cabrera for the score, and later Mays, spreading the wealth, finds Chris Kilgore for the score. And a big-time shout-out to Lorenzo Cabrera. I discovered this kid, so I'm taking some of the credit on his 5-touchdown performance against the Jaguars. Cabrera just started playing football this season. Mays tossed 7 touchdown passes in all. This one goes to his brother, Byron Mays. Great catch in the end zone. And we cap off the highlights with this Larry Sosa touchdown run. Ramona wins big, 62-17. The Rams finished in a 3-way tie for 3rd place in the River Valley, but Ramona won the coin toss, so the Rams are headed to the playoffs. Patriot needed a win versus Norte Vista to stay in the playoff hunt, but the Braves wrapped up their 2nd straight River Valley League title. Opening kickoff of the game, Israel Arambula with the long touchdown run and gets it cracking for the Braves. They strike first, leading 7-zip. Later, it's Freddie Hawley getting the carry, and Hawley's going to take this one down to about the 2-yard line of Patriots. So Norte Vista knocking on the door of a touchdown, and time to give it to the old battle ram. Andrew Martinez muscles in for the touchdown, 14-zip Braves. And buckle up, because here comes Martinez once again for the touchdown, 21-zip Novi at that point. Now it's the Warriors lining up for a field goal. Patriot can't get the kick off, and the Braves turn them away. But this time, Patriots' J.D. Hernandez finds the house to get the Warriors on the board. They were trailing 21-7. Now it's Victor Gonzalez on the ensuing kickoff. He's got the return for Norte Vista, and this guy is going to the University of Nevada Wolfpack, and you can see why. Great return by Gonzalez. Martinez takes the pitch, finds the house as Norte Vista hangs on against Patriot 35-27. So Novi back-to-back league titles for the first time in school history. La Sierra faced a similar situation against Moreno Valley. The Eagles had to win, but the Vikings hold off a La Sierra surge, and Moval finishes in 2nd place in the River Valley with a 17-16 win against the Eagles. In the Mountain Pass League, it was simple. The winner of Hemet versus San Jacinto would move on to the postseason. The battle for the bell. The Bulldogs trying to end a 10-year skid in this one. Early, it's Hemet quarterback Justice Judge scoring in the first half, and he gave the Bulldogs an early 7-6 lead, but this game was far from over. San Jacinto QB P.J. Murrieta answers with a TD to put the Tigers up 16-7. But the victory bell would belong to Hemet. Judge with a 3-yard touchdown run for the Bulldogs. Hemet would score twice in the final minute of the game to pull out a 41-37 victory. Hemet fans going crazy as the Bulldogs win the Big Bell rivalry game and also punch their ticket to the CIF playoffs. Now it's on to the Inland Valley League, and it was a real logjam for third place. 4 teams, 1 playoff spot, and Canyon Springs gets the job done. The Cougars facing Valley View, but even a win did not automatically give you a playoff spot. The Arlington versus North game would also be a factor. We've got that coming up. First quarter, the Cougars playing some tough defense. Nick Como making a big stop. And then later, more D. Abel Juarez stepping up and making the play. Some defense early on, but this game would turn into a shootout. Lots of points. Now Canyon Springs on offense. Quarterback Cody Cervantes to Nick Como. Incredible catch to stay with it, and Como goes to the house. 7-zip, Cougars on top. Great play by Nick Como and the great throw by Cervantes. Still in the first quarter, Valley View answers. Abraham Nuno. I mean, this guy might go to the Ivy League. He's a smart dude. Drops back, floats the pass to Quincy Coolidge. Coolidge is so cool all the way to the house, and we're even at 7 apiece. The Cougars, though, driving the other way. Cervantes to Chris Carrillo. They had the 99-yard touchdown pass the previous week, still getting it done. And then it's Cervantes to the real A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, shaking some tackles, nearly gets to the house, running down the sideline, but that would set up a Canyon Springs touchdown. The Cougars go on to win 38-35, so that means Canyon Springs would need Arlington to beat North to get that playoff spot. If North defeated the Lions, well, the Huskies would advance. Third quarter, the Huskies were down 7-zip. Quarterback Joseph Garcia to Dre Hall, and that is a big pickup for North. They were moving the ball, but later on that drive, Garcia looking to pass, and Mitch Kaysen, the INT for the Lions. So now it's Arlington on offense, and North, they repay the favor. The big man on campus, Robert Sanchez, coming up with the pick, and Sanchez not done yet. The nice return on the end of that interception by the big man, Sanchez. That sets up this Cole Bailey field goal, and the Huskies are on the board trailing 7-3 in the third quarter. Now it's Arlington with the ball, looking to pad that 4-point lead. It's Lovell Thomas on the carry, and Lovey with the house call. Arlington goes on to win 13-6 the final, so the Lions cap off the regular season with a victory, but because Valley View lost, it's Canyon Springs securing third place in the Inland Valley League and the automatic playoff berth. The only true league championship game came from the Southwestern as Vista Murrieta won its 5th Southwestern League title in a row. The Broncos taking on Chaparral. Both teams entered 4-0 in league play. Buzzy Bolton coming up strong. That's my boy. Vista Murrieta was leading 7-2. More Bronco D. Paging Crazy Meshack making the house call. Yeah, he makes house calls. Pick 6, touchdown, and the Broncos go up 14-2. The Chaparral defense would also make plays. They forced a fumble, but the Pumas could not capitalize on the ensuing drive. Now it's the great Aaron Ruth for Vista Murrieta. Boots the 37-yarder. The Bambino puts the Broncos up 17-2. And it was a real kicking match down there as the Pumas, John Barron answers with a triple, making it 17-5. Next drive, Vista Murrieta going forward on 4th down. It's all good. Seth Acta breaks loose and finds the paint. 24-5 Broncos. Now it's time for some more Buzzy Bolton action. Another great effort from the entire Vista Murrieta defense in this one. Tyler Cook, well, you know he has the recipe for some great defense. He checks into the highlights with the sack. And how about one more from the great Aaron Ruth? Vista Murrieta wins the league crown 41-5. Murrieta Valley and Temecula Valley played for 4th place in the Southwestern League. The Nighthawks helped their cause to make the playoffs, coming away with a 48-30 win. Murrieta Valley has a chance to be selected as a wild card at-large team in the Inland Division. Those teams will be made by the CIF Southern Section on Saturday night. Heritage capped off another perfect season in the Sun Belt League. Hold on one second. Yeah, Coach Broach wants to remind everyone that's 4 in a row for Heritage, and they are 20-0 all-time in the Sun Belt. The Patriots taking their game to Elsinore. Heritage's defense taking care of business. Matthew Palmer coming up with the interception, and he was not done yet. In fact, he had 2 in the game. Palmer with a pair of picks. That could be a tongue twister. Now on offense, quarterback Brett Virgil airs it out to Chris Nile, and that's on the money. Straight cash, homie. Nile with the touchdown, and later it's Virgil to Erod. Evan Rodriguez on the fade. Touchdown, Heritage. The Patriots, they have been on a roll. Lima High Hefo enjoyed another big game. Hefo with the interception, and he won't stop until he finds the end zone. Pick 6 house call for Hefo. And I'm his Uncle Pep. He would later add this long touchdown run as Heritage wins 37-14. The Pats are 9-1 heading into the Central Division playoffs. Elsinore is also playoff bound. The Citrus Belt League saw quite the shakeup on the final Friday night of the regular season. Eisenhower defeated Redlands East Valley, so the Eagles earned a share of the Citrus Belt League title for the 2nd year in a row. And Eisenhower will be the #1 team out of the CBL in terms of playoff seeding. So let's go to the highlights. Rev taking on Ike. Opening kickoff of the game, Rev's Alonzo Anderson is on it, but he's stripped of the ball, and Ike recovers on the Rev 33. A couple plays later, after the fumble, Marquand Harris, the 6-yard touchdown pass to Nigel Lee, and Ike goes up 7-zip. Rev would respond with a 12-play, 78-yard scoring drive capped off by Mark Nielsen going in for the touchdown, and that ties the game at 7 apiece. Later, it's Rev with 4th and 7 on the 35 of Ike. Armando Herrera picked off by Lee. Lee had 3 interceptions in the first half alone. Ike was leading 14-7 in the second quarter, but Rev is on the 11-yard line ready to punch in a score. But David Morgan, he comes up with another timely interception for Eisenhower. The Wildcats driving down the field, just struggling to punch it in. They had 1st and goal on the Ike 2. Herrera's pass is tipped, and there he is again. Lee, one of his 3 interceptions, and he's going to take this one back all the way. 101 yards. Go ahead and do the math. The touchdown puts Eisenhower up 21-7. Eisenhower would tack on one more score before the half. Harris runs it in from 9 yards out, and Eisenhower goes on to the victory, 28-14. Redlands taking on Yucaipa. The winner of this one would also make the playoffs. Third quarter, Yucaipa quarterback Tanner Ward scores the touchdown, and the Thunderbirds led 31-0. Later, Redlands QB Cody Whitaker trying to get this cracking, but he's picked off in the end zone by Eazy-E, Eric Abrams. And on the first play from scrimmage following the INT, Tanner Ward hooks up with Brandon Scott. 80 yards later, Scott trots into the end zone. Still in the third quarter, it's Ward again punching in the touchdown. 44-zip, Yucaipa on top. Later in the third quarter, Whitaker finds Anthony Sandifer on the screen pass, who will eventually be tripped up about the 12-yard line. So Redlands fighting to the finish. It's Whitaker going in for the touchdown, but it was too late. It was 44-6, Yucaipa the winner, so the Thunderbirds are headed to the playoffs. In the Mountain Valley League, it was pretty simple for 4 teams. You win, you're in. Let's start with Citrus Valley at home for Banning, and bundle up, Bernie, from the Inland Empire 66ers. First quarter, Citrus Valley running back Omari Montgomery breaks off this 25-yard touchdown run, and the Blackhawks strike first, 7-zip. After a bad snap, Banning's Jarrell January sacks Zach Sorum for a loss of 9. Nice play there by the Bronco D. But on the next play, Sorum going 71 yards to Montgomery, right up the gut. 14-zip Citrus Valley at that point, and the Blackhawks go on to win 27-12. Next up, Rim of the World versus Rubidoux. Same scenario. A victory gets you in to the playoffs. Jamie Taylor gaining some yards for Rim. They were leading 35-7. Zach Montgomery, he goes in for the touchdown there as Rim of the World goes up 42-14. Taylor continuing to do big things now in the third quarter. Another great run by Taylor. And this time it's Chase Bodar getting some action, and he's got the carry there. The Scots like to keep it on the ground and run hard. Taylor with more yards here, racking them up. And then later in the third quarter, it's Blake Decker gaining some ground. That would lead to this. Kiko Barrios finishing the drive with a touchdown. Rim of the World, the defending champ in the East Valley Division, wins 62-35. In the Sunkist League, Colton, Summit, and league champion Kaiser all earned automatic berths to the playoffs. The Cats, who are the defending CIF Central Division champs, finishing undefeated in the Sunkist with a big win versus Grand Terrace. First quarter, Wesley Lewis picking off Grand Terrace QB Ralph Mohammed there. Then later in the opening frame, Raymond Padilla connecting with Wesley Lewis for a first down. That would lead to this. Clayton Howard Jr. rushing into the end zone, and Kaiser goes on top 7-zip. Later in the second quarter, Kaiser recovers the ball on the onside kick, and then it's Joshua Johnson getting the call for the Cats. Nice run there. And then it's Leon Dennis catching the pass from Raymond Padilla. That would lead to this. Clayton Howard Jr., another touchdown. Kaiser goes on to blank Grand Terrace 42-0. In the land of the Big H, well, they played on Thursday night. Here's what we know. Centennial won the league. They're headed to the playoffs, as well as second place Norco and third place Santiago. But Roosevelt with a big win against King, so the Mustangs still have a shot to make the playoffs as a wild card team.
Well, that looks an awful lot like Boise State head coach Chris Peterson checking out the game. And here's how the scoring started. Sophomore J.J. Taylor getting the Huskies on the board in a hurry with this return for a touchdown. Taylor had another touchdown later in the game, and you have got to see it, so stay tuned for that. Later in the first quarter, Robert Weber to Barry Ware. Big block by Sid Acosta, and that springs Ware to the house. 14-zip Centennial, and we're just 2 minutes into the ball game. Now here comes that TD by Taylor. Maybe the highlight of the year. Taylor with the interception, and watch the incredible return. Making people miss, some side steps, and some spinning. Great run, right? But wait, it gets better. Taylor, at the end of this run, flies over Nick Gibson and goes in for the touchdown. Goodness! Centennial on top, 21-zip. Now call me old-fashioned, but it's not a show until beats by Trey. Trey Watson finds the house. Centennial cruises to another Big 8 outright title, 74-0 the final. Shout out to the big guys up front, including C.J. Bynum. Next up, Norco at Santiago. Now to the highlights. The visiting Cougars jump out in front. Quarterback Victor Viramontes to Matthew Williams and his neon yellow cleats. 21-zip Norco on the touchdown. Then later Viramontes with the touchdown run to push the Cougars lead to 28-7. Sharks quarterback Blake Barnett looking to guide his team back into this game. Barnett to Isaiah Manley. We nearly had a cleanup on aisle 4, if you know what I mean. Good thing our cameraman has the quickest feet in Riverside County. It's a fact. Later it's Barnett to Jordan Villasenor as Santiago drives down the field. And they cap off the drive with this Barnett to Manley touchdown strike. Santiago makes it a 28-14 game at the half. Still down, though, by 2 touchdowns. Third quarter, it's the Corey Young Show, starring Corey Young. Monster game for Young, chalking up more than 400 yards on the ground. Here's about 80 of them on this carry. Young gets it down close to the Sharks' doorstep, and Young's long run would set up this Victor Viramontes TD on the QB keeper, and Norco goes up 35-14. The Norco fans were fired up. Wait, those are the Santiago fans? The Cougars defense not letting the Sharks back into this one. Barnett picked off by Gabe Barton, and Norco would capitalize. Arthur Tuison punches in a touchdown as the Cougars extend their lead to 42-14. Young continued his big night in the fourth quarter, breaking off this 67-yard touchdown scamper as Norco clinches second place in the Big 8 League with a 56-21 victory. Press Enterprise Sports editor David Zink and his homies watching Roosevelt versus King. So if you're there, who's running the paper? Anywho, the winner of this one keeps their playoff hopes alive. Mustangs quarterback Joseph Murriel finds Jalen Brown over the middle for the TD. Roosevelt up 7-zip early. Next drive for Roosevelt, Murriel under pressure, no problem. Rolls to his right and finds Anthony Spencer for the big pickup. And more of the same from Murriel, this time rolling to his right and finds Davion Bullock for the TD. 14-zip late in the first quarter. King not ready to roll over thanks to DeWitt Caswell. Here's Caswell shaking a few defenders on his way to 55 yards on that run. and Caswell finishes the job, breaking tackles, stays on his feet for the touchdown, and King is on the board, trailing 14-7 in the second quarter. Wolves hoping to even the score before the half. Discount double check. Quarterback Jacob Rogers with the pass to Deshaun Jackson down to the 1-yard line, and King would find the end zone on this 1-yard floater. Rogers to Tyler Krebs for the score. The Mustangs would strike first in the third quarter as a wide-open Marcus Williams trots in for the touchdown, 21-14 Roosevelt. More from the Wolves' running game and their main man in the backfield, DeWitt Caswell, breaking off yet another big run for King. They were marching. From there, it's the Rogers to Krebs connection once again to even the score at 21-21. Discount double check. Into the third quarter. 5 minutes to go. The score is still tied. A costly fumble by King deep in their own territory. The Mustangs cash in as Muriel connects with Spencer for the go-ahead score and a 27-21 lead after the missed point after. Less than 30 seconds to go. King hoping to pull off some late-game heroics, but the deep ball is picked off by Taj Jones. The Mustangs win 27-21, and now they must wait to see if they're picked by the CIF as a wild card team.
And you can bet this Wednesday on the Blitz, we will preview the CIF Southern Section playoffs. I'm Pep Fernandez, and thanks for watching HS Game Time.